Good morning, and welcome to Judging by the Cover, the gaming review show where I will rate games I have never played and I score them based on the store pages. This week, or rather this month, we are doing something a little different. Now, I usually do this by the caveat of reviewing games that I have not played, that I have not bought, that I don't own. And this month, we're going to be going in a little bit of a different direction, mainly because these are games that you don't buy to begin with. That's right. We are doing free to play games for the entire month of August. So be ready to strap in and see where we're going to go with this. Now, of course, even though we are talking about free to play games, these games do often come with monetization models because the game developers do still try to make money for the products that they put out. So we are going to be talking about the monetization as well as the actual presentation of the game itself. And for the first month or for the first week of this month, we are looking at Skillshot City. This game was recommended to me by a buddy of mine that goes by Bermifi online, a good friend of mine, longtime player. We used to play cards back in the day. Now, he recommended this to me based on being the kind of game that you can really sink into. Describing it as kind of like Fortnite meets Grand Theft, like classic Grand Theft Auto with a top-down view, um, maybe with a bit more of a roguelike spin on it than Fortnite, with the skill progression and ability unlocks. So, Skillshot City sets us up with a quite a spectacular trailer. Actually, it's only a little over a minute long and gives us quite a bit to look at. They show us a whole lot of different bullets, bullet style battle royale. So it is being portrayed as a battle royale game. You're playing against multiple people. They do have multiplayer options where you co op with people. It does look like they also might have some single player modes if I'm reading the descriptions right, various challenges, and so many things to unlock, including game modes where if you die, you aren't instantly kicked from the match. You do actually get a chance to keep playing if you die, so that you're not sitting and waiting in a queue for the next round to start up. It does seem to just really lean into having that high octane thing. Now, with the trailer, you really have to kind of like pay attention and maybe like kind of pause along here and there to see if you can pick out like some of the things that are going on, because it does give you a lot of information very fast, but at the same time it's not so much so that you're completely at a loss. If you've played any games like this, like top down twin stick shooters or these battle royale games, you kind of get the idea of what you're going for. We also have a handful of screenshots that show exactly what the trailer had. We see the bounce shot going off the walls. We see skill selections here from a level up where you have either invisibility or firestorm to choose from on this level. We see, yeah, level 9, max HP up. And these must be these skills. You have to go ahead and pick one. Launches a stream of explosive fireballs that gains damage the further they travel. So it even shows you those, but at the same time, you probably have to try and select those quickly because you are in an active shooting game situation. They do show that there is cars driving. You can drive cars, you can hop in and out of cars. You've got police chasing after you for different challenges. Again, that kind of like harkens to that classic Grand Theft Auto inspiration. More situation going on here. Bensalot is playing in another shootout situation. Looks like the circle. So the way that anybody who has played Fortnite or PUBG, Player Unknown Battleground, would know that as the game progresses, the game forces the players into a closer and closer circle as time progresses. That way, they're not like, on opposite ends of the map and nothing's happening. So, this one seems to be towards the end of that game where the circle is closing you in and somebody's got to take the other player out. We do see another situation, the driving situation, where obviously Bensalot here is getting ready to take a jump, being chased by police. An incredible little setup here. We do see a little bit of the skill menu that likely, I'm guessing this part takes place outside of the active game where you go ahead and build your skill loadout and you basically seem to try and curate. Again, this is if I'm reading some of the information correctly. You try and curate what skills are more likely to appear during your level ups so that you can try and roll for the build you want to go with certain character classes. More shootout situations and more shootout situations. Again, these screenshots are playing out a lot of what we have there. And those are the first couple of sections that we have here for these reviews to look at the trailer and the screenshots. Now, we do have the game actual description coming up. We also have information that the game is in early access and it has a starter pack and a deluxe edition, which we're going to dive into for the descriptions in a little bit. First off, we have, oh, they also have the updates, and the latest update seems to have come from July 7th, which isn't terrible. I mean, it is okay. That's within a few weeks. It's only been a few weeks since that last update. Skill balancing and making match placement matter. So they are like adjusting and tweaking things as they go. So we do know that it's early access. We do know that they're actively updating about this game, and they do also have their Discord for the community engagement. So let's go ahead and discuss the game itself. Skillshot City, aka wait, Skillshot City, aka Skillshot City, three separate words. That okay, that parentheses seems a little unnecessary. I don't know, maybe that's just my brain is a PvP roguelike battle royale. You fight in a chaotic city to win loot and outlevel the other players. Whenever you level up, you'll see two random skills, and by spotting clever combos in real time, you can try to create the most broken build possible, then use your build to outplay others and become the last man standing. Unlike other battle royales, there are no queues or downtime. If you die, you can still keep playing. You'll respawn in a zombie mode that lets you keep looting and leveling up outside the circle. And if you manage to win enough hearts, you can revive for a last second comeback. Play solos, duos, or trios with friends and climb the ranks. So, like I said, it does have that multiplayer co op, which does show in the trailer too, with a few players lined up together, working together against opponents. A roguelite battle royale become insanely powerful is what they're boasting here, and their shots, their little snippets here that we also see in the trailer do show that in pretty good detail. You draft godlike skill synergies, fight for skill points to level up fast. Each level gives you a choice of two randomly generated skills. Do you take invisibility or bouncing bullets, teleportation or regeneration? Like a roguelite, this makes every match play different. You need to think on your feet to combo skills together and create the most broken build possible before the final showdown. Unlock new skills and classes. So you unlock new abilities between matches. There are over 100 unique skills, classes, and round modifiers to unlock. Once you unlock them, you can equip skills to your build to make them appear more often in game. Join the community to theorycraft thousands of possible skill combos. And that's where you get into these kind of player communities where there's going to be like some kind of a defined meta, players experimenting, or maybe people just preferring different styles. GTA inspired mayhem, a city full of opportunity. Like I said up above, we do have some inspirations from classic top down Grand Theft Auto back before, back before they were a 3D game. Farm cops, gangs, missions, and more. Inspired by MOBAs, the multiplayer online battle arenas. The faster you farm, the stronger you become. You can do missions, win supply drops, fight gangs, explore for rare loot, and if you're feeling risky, aggro the cops. But remember, the circle is shrinking and death will set you back a lot. You have to balance risk with the reward to level up as much as possible while still surviving to the final showdown. And then we have turbo fast rounds that they're boasting for more clutch showdowns. While other battle royales have one long round, Skillshot City has three ultra fast rounds with high stakes showdown every 5 minutes. The winners of rounds one and two get to choose unique modifiers that affect the rest of the match Okay, interesting. And the winner of round three wins the game. Your skill build progresses from round to round, and if you die, you can keep playing too. You'll play as a zombie, and you can loot for the next round or hunt down a survivor to revive. No queuing time, no getting booted to the main menu, just pure, refined, nonstop action. So even if you die, like it says, it does give you the opportunity to go ahead and keep playing and try and get back into the game for the next round as these go. So basically, it's it seems like it's maybe a maybe sort of a best of three match since death is not the end of it. You do get a chance to come back in, but the ultimate, like I guess even if you lose round one and two, you get the chance to come back in round three as long as you can make up for the lost progress. At least that's the impression we're getting here. Other cool features, there's a single player and co-op survival mode. That right there is kind of interesting. Usually these games, like these battle royale games, boast the battle royale and that's all they have. But this one does have some single player modes with their own leaderboards and custom difficulty modifiers depending on what kind of a gameplay experience you want. Choose from 8 classes, each with a unique playstyle and strategy. Design skill builds that adjust the pool of your skills you'll choose from in game. Crazy challenges, groovy cosmetics, and stats tracking to show off your favorite skills, and a very small download under 1 gigabyte and instant join times mean you can start playing in minutes. So they really boast their small size, and based on the graphic style, I'd believe it. Like their graphics are incredibly simple, but the mechanics based on the trailer and these little snippets that we see here do look incredibly clean and fluid with how everything is playing out. So, to go ahead and break down the game itself, before we go with full breakdown, like I said, we do have a starter pack and a deluxe pack. You know, we'll talk about that when we get to the monetization. So, the game itself, for the game analysis, graphics, we have this top-down pixel graphics style going here, but it's not like incredibly low resolution. They are dense sprites or maybe even some models in there. But even so, the way that it's done in this simplified format that is still it still pops. It shows how to describe this. To the eye, as long as the colors aren't like overly messing with your vision, you do get a pretty clean look at what is what. Everything just seems to stand out. The buildings, the vehicles, the characters, they all seem to pop off the screen so that you can discern what is what, even with all of the like neon lighting in the environment around there. The menus, we do see a lot of stuff with the menus that look very clean, very simple to navigate. Now, it does look like between rounds, there are going to be a lot of menus and a lot of like maybe currencies and sub currencies in the game in order to get those unlocks that you need in order to get like your full loadouts, your full builds and everything. But everything is laid out in a way that you can at least get the idea of what things mean. Like I don't get the sensation that completely lost from the screenshots. Particularly like one of the menus here. This menu does seem to show us a whole ring of skills maybe by like how much you want certain ones or if these are skills just laid out in this sphere where you also have your character classes. You got your assault, your sniper, your heavy, your caster, assassin, scientist, criminal, and scavenger. Your 8 character classes that they boasted here. Level 5 skill shows at level 5 in game. So these seem to be the preferred skills for your different builds, manual and auto. So they do give us a lot of stuff here where you can see the skills, the modifiers, the cosmetics, the challenges. Everything in this menu is laid out where I feel like if I click on something, I know what I'm going to be looking for there, along with the play, the unlocks, leaderboard, shop, options. Everything is pretty much laid out in a very coherent way where it pops off the screen and still has this nice backdrop that doesn't intrude on the view of the menus. even your claim rewards option here with all of these different flasks as well, which if I've gathered from some of the other stuff I've been reading, I believe the flasks are tied to unlocking those skills to go ahead and get those going. And I'm pretty sure that you earn those by actually playing the game. I'm not sure how much of the game is actually going to require like much external or other in-game purchases. But again, that's part of the monetization that we have to look at. The sound, so for sound, we do get a little bit of the action. We got the sound, the sirens, the gunshots. Everything does appear to be about as we'd expect. The music, we get like this little bit of a high octane, generic sounding backdrop music. But again, for a free to play game, it does get the point across where the music is not unwelcome, and it's not like it's the absolute, headbanger that I'm going to be listening to all day, especially when the bulk of the audio of the game does appear to be the constant gunshots and explosion and action. Which again, that sound design, it does convey what I expect in this setting. The gameplay, again, they boast the constant motion of getting your level ups, getting into the action, not having too much downtime. Like if you queue up to play, they boast that you get into the game like that, which hopefully that is the case without too much load time going in. Again, the UI and the menus, we discussed that. The UI does look very clean. The menus look well organized. The little bit that we see in the trailer there, you can even pause it and see what some of those skills do, like based on their percentages. And as you play, you're going to get the idea of how those work and what kind of skills you want to go for depending on the playstyle you want. So finally, the pricing. Now, this is the part that makes or breaks so many games is the pricing. So how do we judge the pricing of a free to play game? Well, the way to do that is going to be the microtransactions, which we went ahead and pulled up here the starter pack, which is a $5 starter pack of DLC for this that gives you permanent double XP games, so you level up faster, and you get a bunch of resources at 8 times the normal value and show your support with the golden health bar. This can stack with the deluxe DLC, which we'll look at in a second. Thanks for your support as a solo dev. Every little bit helps. So again, like solo dev, this is like one dude's passion project. You get these rewards for these 100% XP rate after each match. So you get the double experience, usually giving an extra 10,000 plus one account level after each full match, lets you claim high value rewards like legendary flasks sooner and more often. Plus 10 account levels, instantly get plus 10 levels. Now, and sometimes with play to game, with play to or free to play games like this, one of the things that you can worry about is how much of a pay to win game it is, which I'm hoping that the way that this is laid out is that it's not necessarily a pay to win. It's just that takes away some of the grind to maybe get to the point of a paid player, but not to the point of having exclusive things that the paid player does not or that the free player doesn't have access to. Plus 10 account levels. You instantly gain 10 levels after your first 4 matches to unlock features at a smoother pace. Plus 5 legendary flasks. So these are you open them for free to instantly get at least 5 new legendary skills. So yeah, like I was reading earlier, the flasks seem to be the way to get you skills. 500 uranium worth 5 USD to spend in the shop. So there is an in-game shop with a in-game currency that you purchase for real money. So it does have a microtransaction for that. 5,000 acid. Instantly get 5,000 acid to open flasks and unlock new skills. 5 plus 5 magnets to directly level up skills of your choosing. Golden health bar cosmetic. Give your health bar a golden border and makes your shield bar above it show in gold instead of blue, which you can toggle on and off depending on if you want other people to know that you're that paid player, I guess. So that's for $5. So it does give you basically you pay $5 for this, and you get $5 worth of the in-game currency for that microtransaction, as well as these other perks. So you're basically getting something that you could purchase in-game anyways. Now the uranium purchase does not seem to show in Steam as something you can get, but we also have the deluxe edition here. For $15, you get permanently earn acid 3 times faster, and you get a bunch of levels, flasks, and acid to instantly open at least 40 plus new flasks and much more. And it can stack with the starter DLC. Now, the starter DLC said you get double experience, and this one is giving you triple acid. So you're getting a different bonus on each one, it seems. 3 times acid from dailies, level ups, class levels, and ranked rewards. Gives plus 6,000 bonus acid per day. Also gets 3 times from rank rewards, account level ups, class level ups, all those things. Which again, the acid, I believe the other page said unlocks or is what you use to open flasks for skill unlocks. Plus 10 legendary flasks. So you're also getting legendary flasks for this one on top of the 5 you get for the other one. You open them for free to instantly get at least 10 new legendary skills, plus 20 account levels after the first 4 matches. So if you get this and the other one, you're getting, what was that, 30 account levels? Not a bad jump start. And it even tells you after your first 4 matches. So you do have to go in and get your feet wet in 4 matches before you even get that benefit. It also gives you an immediate 2,000 uranium, which is worth $20 to spend in the shop, which is actually more uranium than you get for the $15 spent. I would assume here. $30,000 or 30,000 acid, instantly get plus 30,000 acid for opening flasks and unlock new skills. Bonus flask from level ups. In addition to the acid, attempt 100 plus crazy challenges. You unlock the challenge grid to earn over 5,000 uranium worth of rewards, more trophies on round modifiers. Modifiers earn trophies 5 times faster, letting you unlock cooler victory screen cosmetics sooner. Unlimited survival runs. Play unlimited survival runs with no daily limit. Friends in your Steam party can join you too, even if they don't have deluxe. So if your friends are free players, but they want to do more survival runs, you can host them for these, which seems like kind of a cool little perk as far as the multiplayer, a little bit of co-op action going on there. Exclusive DLC cosmetics. You get plus 40 exclusive cosmetics. So these free to play games, they can often have these paid perks where the paid players get nice little cosmetics to show their support, and a supporter medallion on the name as a little thanks also shows on chat and leaderboards, and it can be toggled on and off. Again, if you want to go ahead and keep that little bit of your purchase history private. So that is some cool stuff that you get there if you decide to, not be if you decide to be a paid player for that. So how do we judge this? The collection of the DLC, you basically bundle them together for $20, which is their core value. Now, I feel like a game like this could have easily been a $20 game in Steam without all those extra bells and whistles. And based on what I'm seeing here, even though it's such a small trailer, it does look like a fair price. But the fact that they offer it as an optional purchase for a free to play game that looks like, honestly, it looks like it doesn't need any of that played content or any of that payment to actually enjoy the game. If you want to be a free player, kind of like with the original Path of Exile or with Fortnite, you can enjoy the entirety of the game with paying nothing. Now, it does seem that the deluxe edition comes with additional challenges and other things to enjoy, like basically adding game modes for that purchase. But if you don't want those game modes or you don't mind losing those game modes, then the purchase isn't really that much of a loss here. So I would basically look at this as if I were going to pay for this, I would just straight up pay for the $20 bundle for both the deluxe and the starter pack. Yes, it does get you the those faster unlocks, faster and everything else, but at the same time, it's completely free to start up and try. And before you decide whether or not you actually want those, you can try it out, get those 4 matches, then decide, like, hey, is this something that I want to keep playing with the daily stuff and the extra challenges? I feel like it is a very fair offer for what they're doing, even at the early access stage that they have here, considering that, again, we do have a whole background of updates here. Now, before we go ahead and dive into those updates, I can even see my friend has actually played this for 21 hours. So they've gotten a fair amount of time on this. Release date actually came out in 2017, and they are still putting out information on this. So this was July 7th. If I just scroll down quite a bit, we got more balanced notes from June. Even further back, we have added duos mode in June. So that was pretty recent. Gameplay changes, reverted the nerf to trophy payout in squads mode. So this game has been around for a while, and even as a free to play, like you could go ahead, give it a shot, take a break from it, come back after a while and not really miss out anything whether you're a free or a paid player. Honestly, that's the kind of thing I do appreciate with games like this. Now, what I don't see here in Steam is exactly what the uranium buys here, because the starter kit and the deluxe edition does tell us that it gives you $5 and $20 respectively worth of uranium as an in-game currency, which in other free to play games can be gold, gems, whatever it is you have to spend real money to accumulate in order to get whatever other perks from it. It does not tell us in those pages or on the front page what the uranium buys, like whether you use it to buy extra flasks or faster skills, which would seem kind of weird considering you get, for just buying those things, you get flasks, you get the extra acid experience and faster accumulation of those just by buying the deluxe edition and paying for it. I would almost think the uranium is probably for something to do with the cosmetics, but again, the game is not telling us that, or the store page is not telling us that. And I feel like that kind of information telling us what uranium is and what it gets you in the game, considering that it tells us that it exists here as an in-game paid currency. I would like to know before I buy into it, before I download the game, what that is. Now, I'm sure once I actually go and install the game and look at it, I can easily find out what the uranium is that way. But I would personally just like a little bit of a heads up on the store page. But again, being a free to play game, there would also be no harm in downloading this, trying it out, getting a feel for it, looking through the menus and seeing what exactly the uranium is, even if the store page doesn't show it here. So it's not like I even have to buy the game in order to find out what the paid currency is supposed to do. So I guess in that sense, not having all of the uranium information up front still isn't the worst thing. So this is Skillshot City for what we're looking at here. And we have to give this game a personal score for what we think about it. I believe that based on the store page here, Skillshot City gives us a very clean presentation of the gameplay, clear presentation of its early access promises. It doesn't really tell us much of the direction they intend to go in from this early access stage, or if it will ever exit early access. But at the same time, it does even appear that it is a complete game that you can enjoy for, as is shown on my friend that got flagged on here, for over 20 hours of just high octane action. If you like these kinds of games, if you like the battle royales, if you like these top down shooters, and if you want one that is actually a multiplayer experience that does have what appears to be a fair paid model that you can try 100% before you ever buy into the paid version of it. So I believe with this, for a free to play game, that I am very often I am skeptical on free to play a lot of times, because the monetization is what can make or break this shit. I am rating Skillshot City a 9 out of 10 for my personal score. And that is very favorable. I think the reason I'm not giving it that perfect 10 is because it tells us, like, the DLC section tells us how much uranium you get, how much of a real world, like a real currency parallel that is, but it doesn't tell us what it is. But again, that's not the worst thing in the world, because you can download the game for free and explore those menus and figure that out without having to go and actually pay anything to find out what the paid content is. So, 9 out of 10, that's my rating here. Almost a perfect 10. I feel like if the store page was a little more upfront about the uranium's purpose, that would be an absolute perfect 10. To Ben Johnson or Ben Salat and Knickknack Studios, I hope that they do actually put this game to the point where it does leave that early access status. But at the same time, if it released in 2017 and it is now, 9 years later and still in early access, kind of like what was it, Project Zomboid we looked at, which has been in early access for even longer. Um, Maybe it's just a matter of yes, it is a complete game, but it might not be like 100% the vision that Ben Salat wants to see for this kind of thing. But I do appreciate what he has here and how it does seem to be very positively received by its own community, by the Steam community, and from my own friend's recommendation. And no, I'm not giving this any kind of a bias because my friend recommended it. I have seen people recommend me look at things that I have looked at and been like, I have some heavy critique here. Maybe it's an older game that didn't quite age well, but I can still see the value in it and why people love it. But this one is like, I can see why people are currently hyped on this. It shows us a lot of those things up front on the store page before I even go and try and click the download button to find out what I'm missing. So again, I'm scoring this a 9 out of 10. I recommend this to people who maybe like Fortnite, but maybe want something that might be a little less graphically intense. If this becomes available on other platforms, I think it'd be kind of cool to see this perform well on like on Switch. I could see it doing well on there too if they go ahead and set this up and have cross-platform play between other handheld devices in this, or if it functions on a Steam Deck. It does have controller support, but I don't see a thing here for Steam Deck. It was just kind of a passing thought that I had. And again, raising the score would just be a matter of being a little more clear about what exactly the uranium does. My suspicion is that it's probably for cosmetic purchases to just kind of deck out your character and make your avatar look pretty, which perfectly valid. Some people just want to look pretty, they want to flex their stuff there. But you also appear to get some challenge rewards for having the deluxe version and doing that. Again, excellent game. From what I can tell on the store page, the trailer is incredibly short, but does a great job of showing what to expect, including even menus like menu flashbys that you can pause on and see what's going on. So if this kind of game is up your alley, I'd highly recommend give it a look. It looks like it was because of it being a smaller game. It probably would also run on like lower end computers. I would imagine if I pop on down to system requirements. Now I'm not a tech whiz, but I can only imagine that if your computer maybe struggles running things like Fortnite or other games of that caliber, but you love those kinds of games, this is probably the kind of thing that would fit your gameplay needs, where you can actually, you know, enjoy something in that fast-paced PvP roguelike setting with added skill unlocks on top of just having, weapon loadouts and everything, where you maybe like try and curate your skills to how you want to play. Anyway, that is what we're looking at here. I do especially appreciate that the game has like that continuous play. You got your three what was it, 3 round matches where you can come back and fight as a zombie to try and keep going, keep leveling up. So it's got some really cool ideas and features in there that I hope do well for the developer. And considering how much time my buddy has put into this, I can definitely guess that this is oh, Steam Deck compatibility is playable. Okay. I did actually miss over that. So again, 9 out of 10, Skillshot City. Absolutely give it a look. If this is the kind of game that you would enjoy, like you enjoy these battle royale type of games, maybe with some more action and skill oriented not like skill not in the player skill sense, but skill as in like skill trees kind of thing. If you like those kinds of loadouts in these games, because I've seen mobile games that do this kind of thing where you go around, try and kill enemies as quickly as possible, and every time you gain experience and level up, you unlock an extra skill that basically portrays itself as a different kind of weapon or something going on with the thing. But seeing that in an actual PvP setting is actually fascinating to me, and seeing how that goes. And it does look like the levels do actually they do actually run pretty continuously. Like if I'm reading this screen right, Bensalot is at level 1505. So it doesn't seem like I don't even know if there is a level cap or if that just keeps going, because you do get level up rewards for things like that too. And we also see them with the 510 uranium. I'm guessing that's uranium, acid, magnets, or maybe these are acid, like different kinds of acid. Uh, Different, it shows you all your different currencies that you get up there, and then your flasks down here for what you have. So it does kind of lay everything out. And as you play, you're going to learn how to read all of these with more clarity. But it is still nice to see these menus like shown to us in the screenshots and in the trailer. That's what we have here for today. Make sure to tune in next week to see what we're going to see about for our next free to play game. I may be looking at one or two on the Switch this month. That whether or not they're also available on other platforms, I do want to make sure I try and give some attention to the Switch eShop, because there's a lot of games out there, especially free to play games. There are so many games, and figuring out and judging by the monetization when how we analyze these, that's going to be a I feel like that's going to be the ultimate killing factor here. Now remember, all of the views we expressed here, those are my own personal opinions. You have different tastes when it comes to your entertainment media. I welcome the different opinions and respectful criticism in the comments. I would like to know what you guys thought, especially if you have played Skillshot City. Leave a comment down there. I would like to see what kind of experience other people have here. Like I said, I have talked to a buddy of mine who recommended me on this game, which is one of the reasons I wanted to go ahead and look at this. Uh, Without obviously getting too much into detail, because I'm sure he could, after 20 hours of gameplay, he could gush about this game. And 20 hours may not seem like a lot, but for a free to play, that is definitely a very fair trial. Like if you've put that much time into it, it's pretty easy to say that it had some value, it had some good time on it, especially when you can just come right back to it and start up again. I could easily see myself hyper fixating on this for a good long while if I'm not careful.